beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of NKA, broadcasting from the beautiful city of Enugu on DSTV channel 254, Go TV channel 17, and Free TV channel 748. My name is Chinalurumogu Eze, your host on tonight's episode of NKA. The week is still very fresh, and I hope that you had an amazing time the previous week, and you are very much psyched up to take your week head on and achieve your objectives for the week. I like to think you have objectives because anybody watching this show, I like to think that you're a serious individual and you're taking your life very seriously, right? Because here on NKA, we don't just want to motivate you to be the best version of yourself. We also want to believe that you're taking the things you learn on this show personally and seriously, so that you, how do you say it? The sky will be your starting point, but you understand what I'm trying to say. I hope that's the same for you. And also prepare yourself for another weekend and do whatever it is you want to do with your free time, okay? Tonight's guest is someone who's going to take us all the way back to what you can actually do with talking. You have a talent of talking. What can you do with it? What have you done with it? We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, I'll introduce to you who our guest on tonight's episode is and why you should listen to us. Because yes, me, as you can see, I'm talking. All right, see you in a bit. Welcome back to NKA. My name is Chinalurumogu Eze. And like I said, tonight we are going to discover what you can actually do with the talent of talking. They used to call you Ehu, Okulora, talkative, chatterbox, all those stuff, but you have not done anything with it. You have all this talent. It is a waste if you cannot actually say, these are my awards, these are my trophies, these are things I've done with it. So tonight's conversation is about someone, a young lady who has amassed a couple of milestones, channeling the talent of talking, calling it public speaking, has won awards, has gotten trophies, and currently she is the founder of Speaksphere, where she can also teach you how to do what she does. I'm talking about no other person than the Joan Charity Oko. Good evening, Joan. Hello.
Hi, Nalu.
Hi. See, we're both wearing glasses. Oh, wow. So gorgeous. We're looking so gorgeous. Yes. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm tired. We're good.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, talking can be very exhausting. So it's okay that you're tired. It's a good thing because you're getting your money. Are you not? Yes, you are. Yeah. All right. So tell us about, how did you find yourself in the public speaking phase? How did it all start? Give us the tea. Tell us everything.
Okay, so I think just like everyone who now has a career in speaking, I was, as a child, told that I talk a lot. I believe the name I was called was Onukube. So it was really easy for me to let that affect me. I started seeing it as a liability, considering everyone was saying, you need to talk less, you need to listen, you need to make sure that you are listening more than you're speaking. But it took quite a bit of time for me to realize that if everybody is listening, nobody is going to speak. There's nothing to listen to. There's no point in listening if no one is speaking or saying anything. So I think secondary school would be the place where it all started. I was invited to participate in a debate, a British parliamentary style debate tournament that was being hosted by ONDASA, the University of Nigeria Dentistry Association or something. So we were going against students in the university, and I was really excited as I was nervous, until my parents said I couldn't go. So it took, it took my English teacher then, Mrs. Olzorumba, she is and will probably always be my mentor for life. She came down to my house and spoke to my parents and convinced them somehow to let me just participate. What's the worst that could happen, right? So I participated and came out that day as the best speaker of that particular tournament. And I'm not even going to lie, that was one of the best moments for me ever. It still rings in my head, considering I didn't even want to speak at some point. When we got to the venue, I was very nervous. I was panicking. So I was like, no, let the person who was supposed to, my understudy, let her just sort of do it. But I did, and it went well. And even though I didn't speak for years, I didn't start speaking again until 2023, that will always be, I think, the beginning of my career in speaking, in public speaking.
Okay, hold up for a little bit. You said you started at some point and you did not speak again until 2023. I mean, you discovered something marvelous about yourself. You discovered something beautiful. Why did you not consciously try to do things that put you out there as a speaker? Why until 2023 for you to take the career seriously?
I think it takes a lot of time for every individual to unlearn what they have been taught as kids. So I think if you've been taught that the sky is blue and someday you discover that it's red, there will always be a part of you that still thinks that the sky is blue. Yes. So it takes time for you to come to that realization on your own. So it was just, for me, while that win was great, amazing even, I didn't think it could happen again. So I felt it's a one-off. Let's just leave it at that. Let's focus on other interests. Let's focus on doing things that we are absolutely sure we're good at. So that was about it.
What were rather the other things you were good at?
French and football. I ended up pursuing both in the university.
Did you play football?
Yes, I was and still am a big football fan. I was for a while. I think I stopped playing in 2022.
What? You do not strike me as someone who's trying to pass the ball on a football field. So, did you think you were going to be next Messi, next Mbappe or something at some point?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I played the game for the love of the sport. I was really, dare I say, boyish when I was growing up. And I enjoyed playing football in secondary school. So half the time I would come home with a rip up my skirt and trying to hide it from my parents. So they didn't notice because they didn't want me playing football.
Oh wow. And I'm thinking right now, you wanted to focus on things that you were good at. So that included football and French for you. Well, I'm not going to, if I start asking you more questions about football, we're not going to leave here today because I'm trying to picture it, Joan and football. But that's a conversation for another day. But so what happened in 2023 when you finally said, okay, it's time to leave my shell and pursue this thing head on, this speaking thing? What was the series of activities that happened that made you really, go for it?
Okay, so I'm not going to lie, it was another win, but it was also kind of a loss at the same time. So while I discovered that my school had a debate club in 2022, I did not actively start participating till 2023 when I had gotten back from my study leave program. So I had a pretty tumultuous series of events happen around that time, and I was just looking for something to get out of my head and fill the space a bit. So I saw the flyer and I felt, okay, let's try this again. So I went there. I think that day I spoke, the first day I came, I spoke in debate and I won. that round. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. By then, I'm feeling a lot more confident about my abilities as a speaker. So I'm like, okay, let's keep doing this debate thing. But then, one day they call me up, they ask me to do public speaking, and I do really terribly at it. Like I don't speak for more than a minute because I didn't understand the rules. Debate is about facts and figures, right? You're trying to prove something to someone else. But public speaking, you're trying to pass a message. And at that point in my life, I didn't know what message I wanted to pass. So it was difficult for me to string together anything that wasn't convincing someone that one particular reform is better than the other, or, things like that. So unfortunately, our coach didn't seem to think so. So they asked me to move to public speaking for a while. I was devastated. I was like, I have one thing I'm good at and you don't want me to do it. But yeah, I had to tell myself, since you don't want me to debate, I'm going to do the best I can at public speaking. I was feeling a little vengeful at that point in time. And I think there's this quote that says something about revenge being the best something for success, like the best platform for success.
Revenge is the best answer. Best answer or something. I don't know, but I understand.
Yes, success. Yes. So I decided to pursue that, and I ended up getting selected as one out of the two public speakers that were to represent the school at the All Nigerian Universities Debating Championship. So I went. I wasn't feeling very confident about my abilities. And to be fair, I thought the other girl was so much better a public speaker than I was. But then we get into rounds and I finished giving my very first speech and the judges are just in shock. And the crazy thing is, I had an injury. I have a scar on my right arm now that I had gotten just a few weeks before the tournament. So everyone was unsure as to whether I would still want to participate. But I was like, no, we started this and we're definitely going to finish it. So I went to the tournament with a really big injury on my arm. And I used it as a prop in 3 of the rounds that were held that day, using them in different scenarios. They were different judges. So all the judges were coming back to meet me afterwards to ask me what exactly was the true story behind the scar. Because the stories that I gave them were exactly so many different stories. So, I made it all the way to the finals. And I won the best speaker for that particular tournament. But I didn't win the championship because at the finals, I went over my time. And I was the only person that went over my time. So there was absolutely no way I could have won.
Sorry.
Yeah. There was no way I could have won. It's like,
but then you went ahead to, I'm trying not to say something so weird on TV, but you went ahead to win other public speaking competitions, stacking up your awards, your trophies. But then you said something. You said, when you were asked to, the thing about public speaking is that you have to pass a message, but in debate, you have to do a bit of convincing with facts and figures and all that. So does it mean you don't have a particular thing that interests you to talk about in public speaking? Because you said it's usually about...
actually, I found my message. I found my message in 2023. Feminism. I preach feminism every day, every time.
Okay. Let's have it, because there's been a really crazy ideology, and should I call it disheartening? It's just crazy. The society has termed anybody who is a feminist that they hate men, they would never get married, all those sorts of things. So let's take a little bit of time to understand feminism. So just give us a crash course on feminism. Let's have it.
Okay, so the very first thing is that there are 3 major angles you need to understand to truly understand what feminism is about. And these 3 major angles are misandry, female supremacy, and then feminism, right? So misandry is defined as the opposite of misogyny. We already know that misogyny is a hatred for women on the part of men, most often than not.
Yeah.
But misandry is a hatred for men. And there are women that are misandrous. That is fact. It's not a myth. There are women who genuinely hate men. There are men who genuinely hate women. There are people who hate people, right?
Yeah.
Then there's female supremacy. Female supremacy is born by another set of extremists who believe that in this gender war, it's not about equality. It's about women being better than men, and so they should be given better, bigger opportunities than men. They deserve to be above men. They deserve to rule men. Then there's feminism. Feminism comes from the angle that we just want to be treated as humans. We just want to be treated as equals. We want to have the same access to education, the same access to job opportunities. We want to have the same footing with men who are on the same class with us. Because in most cases, take a look at the job market, for example. You see a man and a woman in the same workplace. They have the exact same qualities, skills, and expertise and experience in doing a particular job. And yet, 9 times out of 10, the woman will always get passed over in favor of the man when it comes to a promotion. And that's what feminism is trying to debunk. They're trying to dead the ideology that men are better than women. They don't care about that at all. They're like, we're all humans. Why can't we be given the right to live like human beings?
You right there. Cool. You sound very passionate about this. You really did find your message, because you sound very, okay, I need to preach this. I need to make you understand. Beautiful, good. So does it mean that for most of your public speaking competitions and engagements, they give you what to say, or you just say, you know what, y'all, I'm about to take you guys on a cruise on feminism? Is that what happens?
Oh, no, not at all. So in the circuit, there are different types of public speaking tasks. Okay, so the circuit is comprised of Nigerian schools and students who are actively interested in debating. There's a circuit at the Nigerian level, debating and public speaking, by the way. There's a circuit at the Nigerian level, national, and there's a circuit at the Pan-African level, and there's one at the world's level. So there's a circuit for everybody, but when I refer to the circuit, more often than not, I'm referring to the Nigerian debating circuit, because that's where I'm most active.
All right. So you yet to comment on what I said. Yeah, let's have it.
So in the circuit, there are different categories of speech. There are prepared speeches, impromptu speeches, advocacy, scenario, business pitches, to name a few. So with impromptu speeches, you're given anywhere between no prep time at all to at most 3 minutes preparation time on a topic that you will get right there and then in your room. That's the room you're speaking in. So for business pitches, you get a business, or you get to pitch a business. They may give you the business that they want you to pitch, or they'll just ask you to prepare a business idea and pitch it to investors, which is absolutely different from a sales pitch, by the way. Okay. So, so advocacy speeches are just what they are called. Advocacy speeches. You're advocating for something. You're trying to pass on a message and get people to get their blood pumping for a particular cause and stuff. So I think that's about it. There are a lot of other speech types, but the point is you don't always get to choose what you speak on.
Okay. So it's when you are probably called upon in a different scenario, you can decide to say, okay, everybody, I'm teaching you feminism today. That's what it is for you, right? Okay, that's fine, that's fair. So we're going to delve into, because I know some people are also struggling with how they arrange their speeches and all that. How you are able to, get award-winning speeches, how are you able to craft it, how are you able to write it down, how you're able from the introduction to the body to the conclusion. We'll get on to that. But I need you to give me an intro to one of your best speeches. Yeah. An intro to one of your best speeches. Yeah. Let's have it.
Let me see. Okay. Let's see. That would probably be my quarterfinal speech at the Pan African University's Debating Championship. I'm trying to remember how exactly it went. Okay? Deep in the jungles of Africa, as they are called by the whites, in the beating drums of the Lagos bustling cities, down to the heart of the Sahara, there exists tribes, nations, tongues that have all been taught to be silenced. Today, we say no more. Africa will no longer be silent. What are we no longer being silent on? Mental health issues. As a Black man, when you are told that you have a case of depression, your first instinct is to say, once I chop, it go fade. Today, we are throwing away that myth and we are standing for Africa's voice.
Okay. Did you have to be so dramatic? Not too dramatic though, because you would have just started on a soft tone, but you had to go from the Sahara to the bustling tongues. That's actually something that makes, because they will not be expecting. They're probably thinking, okay, from the Sahara, from the international, but then it's about mental health. We're going to talk about that, more on that a little bit, but we'll go on a quick break, right? So I hope you all are listening to the sound of my voice tonight and that of Jones. You're listening, taking notes, making mental pictures and all that, especially if you want to level up your speaking game this 2025. You should listen thoroughly, okay? We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more questions for Joan Charity Oko. Don't go anywhere. And we're still here with the multiple award-winning public speaker, Joan Charity Oko, who's going to be telling us, who has been telling us about her experiences in the arts, in the craft, and you can learn a thing or two. So, Joan Chukudebube. So, I said that we need to understand how this works for you. So there's the intro in the speech, there's the body, there's the conclusion, right? So for you, how do you come up with your intros? What do you try to look out for to ensure you have a banging introduction to your speeches?
So I think the first thing is that everyone has a specific style that they use to convey whatever message it is they're trying to pack across. However, for me, what works for me is not and I'm sorry to say this, the aspire to Maguire
at all.
Type
we don't do that here.
Thing.
Okay.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. I can hardly remember. I don't even know who some of these people are, the people that are being quoted. And maybe that's an error on my part. But I find that it's easier for me to convey what I want to convey to the audience when I start with a hook that either leaves them questioning where I'm going with this, or a hook that just shocks them into, wait, what? So why this works for me is that right from the get-go, it piques their curiosity. So even if you've been told, oh, she's going to speak on this particular thing, the fact that the way I'm starting isn't how you're expecting tends to more often than not get you interested in hearing what I have to say, even if it's something that you have absolutely no interest in. Like for someone who doesn't like politics, you could find an interesting hook that makes them at least want to listen, to hear you out and stuff. So great hook for intros always works.
So
more than
what would
half
you
of the
say? I know I've asked you to give us an intro before, but can you think of any intro you've had before that was so good that it left the judges or whoever that was listening to you think twice, like, who is this girl? Can you think of any right now?
Yes, funny enough, I think that would be the semis at the All Nigerian Universities Debate Championship.
Okay.
And at that particular point in time, do you follow the series Bridgerton?
Of course. Who doesn't follow Bridgerton? Totally, I do.
There are people strange. It's quite strange, actually. But there was, I think Queen Charlotte came out during that period. So I was to talk about how love doesn't always work out for people, right? And I came in, I kept quiet for a bit, and then I started saying, I will stand with you between the heavens and the earth. I will tell you where you are. Do you love me? These were the words of Queen Charlotte. And we'll find out in a bit just how true they are in the love of today. So I think that hook, first of all, when I started saying it, made people be like, some people actually joined me to say it down to the end, right? So I already knew I had interest because everyone knows that line.
Movement. After the film, it was a literal movement on TikTok, the streets of Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. I even had to do the Igbo version of that intro. I had to do the Igbo version. I'd
love to see that.
I will tell you where you are. Ihurum nanya, ahurum gina. Okay, that was good. That was good. I would tell people I like when someone has their speeches infused in a bit of trends. It makes it more relatable. You know, trends that are happening. So you're like, okay, this person is really okay. So I love that. I love the use of that Queen Charlotte intro by you. That was absolutely beautiful. We cannot end tonight's conversation if we do not ask you about Speaksphere. How did Speaksphere come about? What are you on about? What's the next step? Just spill the tea. Tell us something.
Okay, so first thing I'm going to say is Speaksphere is my baby, and I love Speaksphere so much. Shout out to my team, Wendy, Samuel, Peace, Rehab. You guys are all amazing. Abimbola, I love you all so much. So, for Speaksphere, I'm not even going to lie. I didn't think that I would be starting an entire academy. I thought that I would spend a lot of time just coaching people. But oftentimes your dream is bigger than you, and you just have to let it lead. So I started coaching in 2023. Shortly after I won Best Speaker for Nationals, I started coaching. But I didn't start coaching people who weren't from my union until 2024, when I worked for an organization and a lot of people just kept meeting me to ask for feedback. That's how I trained my second national champion. I had trained the first, who was from my union, in 2023. Okay. So 2024 was where I got approached by Abimbola, who went on to win this year's edition of the All Nigerian Youth Debating Championship in 2025. So people kept reaching out to me for feedback. And then Wendy, who is the COO at Speaksphere, was like, why are you constantly doing this without getting any form of brand behind it? Everyone always knows you as the Joan Charity Oko, because that's how I introduce myself. I'm like, my name is Joan Charity Oko. I don't like being called Charity if you're not a member of my family, so don't do that. So I get people almost all the time. So, so when she said it, it took time for me to actually get behind the idea, because at that time there was just so much I was juggling. My other jobs, the projects I had my hand in, coaching, trying to get better at judging, because I had gotten interested in judging public speaking sometime last year as well. So there was just a lot going on. However, by the end of the year, I knew that I wanted to actually do this. I needed to do this. there was just so much traffic, and I needed to be able to build something that would help speakers find their voice on not just my platform, but on a larger platform. And to do that, I needed to create a space for them to grow, not just on their own, but as a community where you can meet other speakers going through the same things. There's a lot I can do, but there's something that comes from knowing, oh, this person that I think is so good is actually going through these same struggles I have, whether it's anxiety or not knowing what exactly you want to talk about, or just having issues with getting the words out. There was a community that needed to be built, and I wanted to be the one to do that. So that was how we decided to get Speaksphere off the ground, and I'm happy to say Speaksphere is up and running.
Oh, congratulations. That's beautiful to know. I like how you said that sometimes your dreams are bigger than you, and even if you try to stifle it, it's gonna still poke its head out like, you have to do this, you better do this. And look at you, Speaksphere, where you train people to be better speakers. You even train people from scratch who do not even have any experience in public speaking, right? It's not just for experienced public speakers.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Oh, great. So are there any projects where we should be expecting from either Speaksphere or from the Joan Charity Oko?
Oh yes, actually, we have the PIV, the Paralympics Invitationals, coming up next month. Paralympics Invitationals.
Okay.
So it's more for, in the circuit, there is a huge gap between debaters and public speakers. There are a lot of public speakers who do debate. There are a lot of public speakers who actually are debaters, but just entered public speaking for the fun of it. But there are not a lot of people who are solely public speakers, or people who are public speakers who don't really, and there are not a lot of people who are debaters who are actively interested in public speaking. So it's always, oh, if you're a public speaker, you're also a debater. I think we're just 2 or 3 in the circuits who started being solely public speakers. So we're trying to sort of bridge that gap to show debaters that debate is actually a branch of public speaking. So get off your high horse and do some public speaking. So we called it the Paralympics Invitationals, the speech Paralympics to be precise, not to be offensive to Paralympians. So it's for debaters who are extremely good at what they do. They've debated in the top rooms. They have won a lot of medals and trophies and awards, but they have never done public speaking in their lives. So we're getting 12 of them. We put them in a room and let them battle it out for 2 days. So yes,
it's going to be
that's
virtual or physical?
This year it's virtual, but fingers crossed for next year.
Okay, this is gonna be. I'm trying to find the words, because if you're going to have people that are so debaters, they've never done public speaking in their lives, you have them together to do it. It's going to be very, very interesting. I'd like to attend. Do send me an invite when it's time. I will look for that, you know. But just to understand Joan Charity Oko on a personal level, is there someone you would like to share a stage with someday? Is there someone like that?
When you say a stage, what exactly do you mean? Like a public speaking stage? Someone who wants to speak with?
Your football stage.
Public speaking wise, I want to share a stage with you again. Public speaking wise.
With who?
With you.
Me?
With you.
Stop it!
Yes.
Stop! I know people.
Be careful. I'm about to push you. I'm about to push you from your.
Oh my God. I know people watching are probably wondering, okay, how did our host get into this conversation? Well, I'm also a one-time award-winning, multiple award-winning public speaker. And John has been an exceptional person while at it. But of course, she's someone who should be on the show to tell you how to do this thing while I ask her the questions. And trust me, I would absolutely love to share a stage with you too someday. Soon, it's happening again. Soon, I know it's happening again.
Yes.
Yeah, so before we wrap it up tonight, I need you to, I don't know, do you have one or two words you want to share to people who are struggling with speaking in public? Maybe, I know you don't like to do Aspire to Maguire, but now we may need a little bit of that just to boost their morale, tell them what they should do. They are nervous about speaking in public. They have stage fright. They can't do presentations in class. They can't, they're just shy and all that. So what can you say to them? Just give them something to hang on to and we can wrap it up from here.
Okay, so before I start this speech, I have to do a little shout out to my parents. I love them so much. I wouldn't be here today without them, literally. So, hi mom, hi dad. I love you guys so much. So, to answer your question, yes, I do have something I'd like to say to speakers who are wondering if this is something they want to do. You're not going to get it the first time. You may not. You may, but you may not. Chances are higher that you may not get it the first time, or the second, or the third. But talent is overrated, and hard work is underrated. The more you keep working at something, the chances are you're going to do amazing at it. So do it. Be like Nike. Do it. Just do it. Do it scared. Do it broke. Do it tired. Keep practicing. If you can't practice in front of someone, practice in front of the mirror. Record yourself. Keep working at it, and believe me, you're going to do just fine. And just bear in mind that
I think our guest is having a bit of network issue, but of course, welcome to Nigeria. I'm pretty sure it happens every other place, so it's not just a Nigerian problem. But the interesting thing is that Joan Charity Oko has said the basic thing she would have said on this show, and that is do it. Just do it. Are you struggling to be a public speaker? Are you finding it difficult to speak in front of people? Are you just, however it is doing you, I bring to you the message from Joan Charity Oko, multiple award-winning public speaker who says, just do it. Whether it is rehearsing in front of a mirror, in front of a camera, however it is, just keep practicing and you will eventually get the hang of it. Trust me, as someone who is also a public speaker. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us talk about public speaking and how it can transform your life on tonight's episode of NKA. We'll do this again. See you tomorrow, same station, same time. My name is Chinalurumogu Eze. Thank you so much.